Sister, you said that you were going to the church. Really, we are not experienced about the church, the Turkish people. What you were doing when the kids go to the church? What did?
When I would go, the children in our church that my great grandmother went to, it was very structured. The children actually didn't go into the main prayer area with the adults. We went to what they call Sunday school. So the adults would go in and listen to the preacher and do their thing, and the children would go into a special room with a teacher. And it was very fun. I remember it being a very pleasant time. We read stories, we colored. There were a lot of books to color the stories from mostly it was just the beginning of the Christian Bible stories, Noah and the Ark, and we would color the animals and the boat, and it was just simple. They made it a very simple, the stories for us, and it was nice. It was pleasant. I have very good memories of going there. I didn't really understand it being anything, I don't know how to say this the right way, but I didn't get a concept of God at all. I just got a concept of stories, that we were being taught stories from a book, and I understood that. And it wasn't until I got a little older and I actually wanted to figure out what were these stories about? Why were we learning this? And I started reading the Bible we had at home. Then I started, oh, this is actually, people believe this. and then I really, that's when I really started reading the real Bible. And the more I read, the more it just seemed like stories to me. I couldn't connect a religion, belief in a higher power with what I was reading. Yeah.
You said very important points. Because some of the Christians say this, in Europe. They said that, okay, there are some stories, good stories, just story, but there is no explanation of God. They said that we couldn't find the God in Christianity. There is no. There is something stupid, Trinity and others, but even spiritually, you cannot find the God. He said that when I became the Muslim, I found the God. Yeah, almost you said same story, isn't it? You had some good stories, okay, from Noah and others, Ark, but you couldn't find the God. Yeah, this was very important what you said. What else do you want to say about this? I mean, because you said very important point of Christianity. There is no, explanation of real God. And what else we can say? For example, in the church, children church, they give you some paints and other things to have good times, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have some memories from that period?
Just that I was very young. I went to Sunday school from I think maybe 5 years old until 8 or 9 years old, and then my mother got a divorce from my father, and then she remarried. And when she remarried, this husband did not like the relationship between my great grandmother and anybody. He wanted to take my mother and my brother and take us away from her. He didn't like her having any influence in our life. He wanted to be the boss and the control, and so he took us away. So I stopped going. This is when I stopped going. I didn't go to the private school anymore, and I stopped all of that. So that's pretty much when my religious training finished, when I was very young, 8 or 9 years old. And I was on my own after that too.
So you don't remember any memory, good or?
Just very, I actually have a problem with my memory. I have a medical problem that affects my memory, so I don't have a lot of memories of that time. Just singing and songs and.
You are singing?
Yeah, we used to sing. We had the children would sing, and then when I went to private school, I was in the choir. They had a choir, and we made a record actually, and of religious songs. I just, it was very pleasant. I don't have any bad memories of that time, but again, there was nothing that made a connection. I honestly didn't know what God was. I knew they talked about it, but it didn't make any connection to me at all. I knew my prayers. I knew how to pray. And if I would get afraid of the dark or something, I would say the prayer, because that's what my great-grandmother told me to do. But I didn't know what I was I speaking to what? I didn't know. No, I would say it more like you would I don't know, but I didn't make a connection to any power or any creator. I had no concept of that.
I got it. What's the meaning of the prayer you were saying when in the darkness also?
She said if I was feeling scared that you say a prayer and that God protects you. But I didn't get what she meant God. What is that, like a ghost? Or I had no idea. I had the picture in the book of a person with a beard and a white dress and a gold all around him on a big chair. This is what I saw. And I thought, no. And my mind didn't accept that. But I would do it anyway because since little, this is what I was taught, to say these prayers. So I would do it. I knew it was a good thing. It wasn't bad to say a prayer, but I didn't understand why.
Did the picture was the picture of the Christ?
No, God. We had pictures of God.
No.
Yeah,
It's
when
not
we
a
were
picture
little.
of Christ?
Not Jesus, no. Jesus was different. Jesus had brown hair. Jesus had brown hair, and Jesus was in a different kind of thing. They would give us a representation. It was in the color books. And yeah, I mean, we had an image of what was God. Yeah, really. A man, it was a white man too, which is funny because Jesus is brown, but God was white. So I don't know. I was little, very little. And this church is no longer there anymore. The school that I went to is gone. They're not there anymore, but
yeah. I started a little with Christianity. I read the Bible to have culture difference.
right.
But I remember the pictures from the Jesus. Even you said that there were some pictures, but I thought that all the pictures belongs to the Jesus. But you see, you are right because I saw some pictures with golden lights around. That's the God, huh?
I don't know. I think this was just for the kids. I don't think this is anything that the adult. I've never seen it since. Just in Sunday school and just in the color books, the books that we would color for. I think it was to give children an idea of an important, bigger than everybody, to try to give us some idea in our mind of what was God, and this was what they did.
Sister, of course, this is not a theory. I think this is the way. Also, I study ancient times history, and also I study not in the school as a scriptwriter. I read, but as far as I noticed that the Christianity moved the culture of the ancient period, because in the ancient history you can describe to the god Zeus. This is the figure, strongly. And this is Eros, is lawful, and etc. Poseidon is the god of the seas, for example. So I believe that all these things, all mistakes, is carried from the ancient time period. They said that, yes, the Roman Empire said this is the creator, but no. They carry, the shapes looks like something from God, but what's containing is this one. So what you said, I just remember me this. They describe to the God how it's possible.
Yes.
How the Creator, this is interesting. Inshallah, after that we come to this point when you try to express something about Islam, then please you compare with this subject. This is important. But let's finish your kiddos. Then, do you have any bad or nice or sad memories from your father and mother, from your kiddos?
Not really. Even when they got divorced, I didn't really know. I just knew they didn't live together anymore. I think because I spent a lot of time with my great-grandmother, so I was moving around. I'd go home a few days and go to Nana's house, and I had my cousins with me, my little cousins, and it was good. And when they got divorced, actually, things got better with my father because he would take me on the weekend. And his parents owned like a ranch in the mountains. They had property in the mountains. Oh, it was so beautiful up there. And I loved going up there. And they had little bikes for the dirt. And we would have all this fun time up there. And I just loved being in nature. And so I had I don't remember anything bad. A lot of people, they suffer when their parents divorce. With me, it was better. The only thing is my mother's second husband, that was very bad. He got a problem with drugs and he went very crazy. and he made our life very difficult for many years. And that's a very big, ugly, long story. But it had a big effect on me. It showed me very young the danger of drugs and what they do to people, because he was a very sweet man before he started the drugs. He was generous, he was kind, he did a lot for us, bought us a house, he did many really wonderful things, and the drugs took away his mind and made him crazy, where he was trying to kill us. Really, he went to jail for doing horrible things, and he ended up dying because of the drugs. But it showed me, you know, and that was from 11 until 14 years old. So it's an important time in the life of a child. It's when you develop a lot. And so by the time I hit high school, I knew for sure that I never wanted to even try drugs, because I saw what they did to people, and there was no way. So that was important. It was a good lesson for me.